And now, BillyCBoxing.com presents Thumbs Up, Thumbs Down with Billy C. Here he is, Billy C.
Thank you, Jeremy C. We're coming at you from the Billy C studio in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Caligiero, and it's time for BillyCBoxing.com's professional boxing's thumbs up and thumbs down for today, August 8th, in the year 2012. I got really a couple of thumbs up and a couple of thumbs down. That's it today. First and foremost, thumbs up goes to the HBO card. It's set for October 13th. It features Nonito Donaire against Toshiaka Nikashoka and Bam Bam Rios against Mike Alvarado. You know, when Kenny Hirschman took over HBO, I had a lot of thoughts that HBO would be back on top as far as the premier cable channel for professional boxing. And when Ken Hirschman was running Showtime, we all agree that Showtime was putting on a much better product for a fraction of the cost. Well, I think politics and red tape and everything else, and just the fact that HBO is the size of a corporation that it is, that it took a while for Kenny Hirschman's stamp, his patented success that he did with Showtime would start to shine on HBO. Well, the beginning of it shined in September, or will shine in September, when we have a triple header that features Edwin Lumbamba Rodriguez. And if you look at those three fights, they're all very, very good, evenly matched fights. I think that was the first one, and this clearly is the second one under Ken Hirschman's reign. These are two very, very intriguing matchups with the Donaire and Nikashoka fight. I think it's going to give us an opportunity to see how good Nonito Donaire really is. I personally have felt that he's a bit overrated since he's moved up the last two weight classes. He just hasn't impressed me as much as he did when he fought at the lower weight classes. And as far as Bam Bam Rios, he's always been one of my favorite fighters of late. But he's going to be fighting against a guy similar in style as him. Both of these guys have a lot of heart. Both of them like to stand right in your face and exchange bombs. That ought to be a phone booth fight. And the one other interesting thing about that particular fight, Bam Bam Rios has been very successful in his pre-fight news conferences, getting under his opponent's skins, being kind of a bully, so to speak. And I'm not sure how successful it's going to be against Mike Alvarado because he's a kind of a no-nonsense, he doesn't take any bullcrap kind of a guy. So it's going to be an interesting thing, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I give a thumbs up to HBO for this card scheduled for October 13th. I also give a thumbs up to my man, Gary Russell Jr. I say my man because I got to interview him yesterday on the Talking Boxing with Billy C show. And I'll admit, the interview started out a little slow. He seemed like he was tired or just was bored with the interview. We said a couple of things. We loosened him up. And, man, we all got to know Gary Russell Jr. I've gotten a slew of emails. A lot of people have checked out that interview. They loved it. They're all big fans of Gary Russell. Gary wants to come back on. We're probably going to have him and his father on. We had a great time, and he's a great kid. He's an undefeated featherweight. You know who he is. He's exciting in the ring, and he did a pretty damn good interview. If you missed it, you can check it out really easily by visiting the website, www.BillyCBoxing.com, and there's a section called Hot Interviews. It's on the left-hand side of the screen, and just click that, and you'll see it right on top. Or you can even go, I think there's a copy of it up on YouTube as well. So the Gary Russell Jr., great interview on the Talking Boxing with Billy C show. Thumbs up to him. Thumbs down. Thumbs down goes to, I think they got the record for the most thumbs down so far this year. That's the WBC. I can't stand the WBC for a lot of reasons, but the one reason that really irks me is that they've come around, especially the last 6 to 8 months, thinking that they are boxing. Some of the statements, I know they're bold and I know they're brash and I know that they're trying to show the importance of the WBC and all of that jazz. But you know what? They are not boxing. Boxing can survive fine, I think even better without the WBC. The WBC blames and makes fun of other sanctioning bodies for having interim belts, yet they just rename theirs to silver and all that other crap. But this time I think they really crossed the line when now they're criticizing the amateur boxing programs. And not that I don't disagree with some of the things they said, but in my opinion, who the hell does the WBC think they are? They have no basis to even make a comment about amateur boxing. They're still upset with the fact that the World Series of boxing was kind of stealing their thunder a little bit. And now they're making comments about the scoring. And then he throws in, and I say he, meaning Jose Sulaiman, throws in about an unjust decision between an Irish fighter and a Mexican fighter. So I think the underlying thing here is that it's all about the Mexican fighters for Jose Sulaiman. Isn't that a form of prejudice? Don't we all look at, why does prejudice always be focused on black and white? Prejudice is bad no matter what it is. And in this case, it's Jose Sulaiman being prejudiced because he wants only the Mexican fighters to rise to the top. And I think that this was a clearly a stupid move by the WBC. The WBC has to worry about one thing, sanctioning the WBC. And if it were up to me, I wouldn't even value them. I think that they've sunk that low on the totem pole. The WBC gets a thumbs down. And Jose Sulaiman, it's time for him to step down. He's lost his mind. I don't think anybody should even put a value in that green belt. Thumbs down to the WBC. Thumbs down goes to Guillermo Jones. Now, why am I giving Guillermo Jones a thumbs down? Well, Guillermo Jones is still an active fighter. He's actually the WBA Cruiserweight World Champion. The reason why I'm giving a thumbs down has nothing to do with his professional boxing career. It's the fact that he's entered into the management department of professional boxing. I love when pro boxers retire from the sport and stay in the business. And in this case, you're a boxer, you become a manager, you become a promoter, you stay in the business. We need more people like that. We need more fighters to continue their careers in the sport of boxing. However, the reason why I'm giving Guillermo Jones a thumbs down is he's not done with his boxing career yet. How could you really be a manager and look out for your young fighters when you're still concentrating on your own career? Or worse yet, if you're going through the motions with your own career and concentrating on your young fighters, I don't think I think it's a conflict of interest for a professional fighter who's still active in his career to enter into other avenues of the game. Thumbs down to Guillermo Jones. And finally, thumbs down to Francois Botha. That's right. The White Buffalo is still fighting. It was just announced that he's fighting again in September 7th, against Francisco Piñata, who's 26-0. It's going to take place in Germany. Man, I thought this guy was already over the hill when he fought Mike Tyson. I mean, the White Buffalo has been let out of pasture. He's been taken into pasture. He's been let out to pasture again. I mean, come on, man. How many lives does this guy have? He's got more lives than a cat. I mean, the White Buffalo, listen, no disrespect to him, but the time is over, man. I mean, come on. It's just another case of being retreads being used like Hasim Rahman, like the White Buffalo, guys that have names that people somehow still remember, and rather than promote or build up a young fighter, they throw in these guys. I think it's terrible. Thumbs down to that. Hey, man, that concludes my show for today. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Have a great day. Ciao, baby.